Hey,
in the background, eh?
okay. Hey Shane, how good is it to come to one of these local fight nights tonight and see, you would have started on one of these, but now you're seeing some up and comers. How does it feel to be here tonight?
Oh, it's very good. It's very good. I think it's good for like someone like Craig Thompson. He puts on a lot of shows, and I spoke to David Higgins tonight. They put on they put on the top end of the shows. The big shows. Then I put on smaller ones there, and then these are a bit smaller again. But like, you need people like Craig Thompson putting on these shows. He puts on as many shows. He puts on more shows than anyone. And what I said to David, I said, like he said, oh, there's no money on these sort of shows. I said, yeah, but we need these shows to happen for young fighters that want to make their way through the ranks. And they need to fight on shows like this to get through the ranks. Because if you're relying on just getting on big shows, and firstly, you may not get a fight because there's only so many fights they can put on one night, or there's not enough fights for you.
When you think about it, right, you've got Craig Thompson, you got yourself here tonight, you got David Higgins, you got Joe Parker. It's been this is where it all starts, right? We've got a great mix of people here tonight.
Yeah, good mix of people, and it's ultimately it's all about the fighters. It's all for the fighters and entertainment for the crowd, for the supporters, because boxing is an entertainment sport. You got to entertain.
Hey, but let's not, without further ado, next weekend, eh? What are you most looking forward to for your fight night coming up?
My fight night, yeah. So it's an interesting thing at the moment with matching fighters internally, because we can't bring, with this COVID thing, we can't bring fighters in from offshore. Those you got to pay the quarantine, all that sort of stuff. It's just not financially viable to do. So I've put together a good show. So got Josh on there, Chucky Francis. So he's going to be fighting a boy that's keen to come up from Palmerston North. So he's actually making his pro debut. He's had 16 amateur fights. And they're keen. They're keen to come up, and there's one thing in the sport of boxing. Everyone can be upset. Chucky's looking at the favourite, but it only takes one punch. In the cruiserweight division, it only takes one punch. And this boy's, he's keen. He's had some good depth in boxing. So, yeah.
We saw that tonight, though. The cruiserweight division is almost more exciting at times than the heavyweight, even though heavyweight one punch can make it all end. However, with the cruiserweights, you've got Chucky. What about the co-main for next weekend?
Yeah. Who we've got for the co-main event? We've got what's his name? Henry's boy.
I'm trying to remember myself. That's why I asked you.
Oh mate, okay, his name.
We can come back to it. However,
we've got Kamisi Missy, who fought tonight. The heavyweight that fought tonight. He's on heavyweight fight against Andrew Palulu, which will be a very good heavyweight fight.
Going through it, we're only a week out, and you've been here tonight. You watched the event. What is it like being a promoter, like ex-fighter, now promoter? Like, what do you go through the week out? Are you just super stressed, super calm? How does it all go down for you?
It's all the stress is sort of already happened, but there's still this 7 days out. There's 7 days out today, and things can change. People can get injured. People can pull out. But this is my 15th show. So. I've dealt with a few different sort of...
Would it be safe to say it's good being in that, your side now, and you've seen what promoters go through? What I do like is talking to you after the event. It's so good talking to you at the, whether it be Sky or whatever event you've been at. You seem a bit more relaxed, or any promoter does, and is it a bit of relief once the show's over?
Yeah, it is, and I always feel like that even through the build-up of the show. I just can't wait for it to be over, and that was the same when I was fighting. When I was fighting, it was just like, I suppose, the nerves and the tension. I just couldn't wait for the fight to be over, and especially the day of the fight was always long. I think, I just can't wait to get in there and get it done.
Being here tonight, though, there was a lot of respectable people from all walks of life. Everyone gravitated to you. Like, everyone knew. How did it feel? Because you looked like you were trying to just kind of be away from the scene, do your own thing, but so many people were coming up to you. How did that feel? Oh yeah, no, it's nice. Yeah, it's nice. It's humbling because I just think I'm just me anyway. I'm nothing special.
you know, even with seeing Joseph Parker here, you know, that's a credibility to have him here. I know his brother was fighting, but I suppose that's what I never really accepted when I was in my heyday, you know, going to events when people would flock around me, you know, and then now I sort of know what it feels like. I think, oh, it's cool that Joseph's here because people would love to see him. And I think, oh, it's probably what maybe when I was in my heyday is what people like maybe about me, you know. So yeah, it's just different. You reverse the situation sometimes, But
it was awesome to see, you know, because I saw you coming here tonight. I don't know, because you probably live quite close. You're on the shore, and people were just gravitating towards you. And you know, you're a bit of a legend in the game, mate. You know, you've been there. You've fought some of the best in New Zealand. So really good to see you here tonight. Is there anything you want to say to those watching back home or for the event next weekend?
No, I think just the people that support boxing, keep supporting boxing. It's a hard sport. It's a hard sport when you're in it. So it's nice that people when they like it and they follow someone. You know, Kenny Rainsfield, my manager for many years, he always said to me, boxing's an entertainment sport. You have to entertain. If you don't entertain, then no one's interested in watching you fight. You know, so and you're only as good as your last fight. You know, so yeah, I don't know whether that meant anything, but.
It was pretty awesome, mate, and really good to see you tonight. We look forward to next weekend's show and all the best for upcoming shows. Thank you. Yeah, I was just about to ask that actually. Final last. We talked to Far. We talked to Parker. We talked to Joe. We talked to John, and we've yet to speak to Far. But how do you see this fight going? I mean, on paper, Parker should win. Far did beat him in the amateur rounds. People are saying it's going to end within 4. Some people are going to say it's going to go 12. What are your predictions?
I don't really know. What I do know is there's 2 big boys going to get in the ring. 2 experienced boys, but on paper, like you said, it should be Joseph's fight. But in the heavyweight division, anything can happen. Junior hasn't really performed at top level. For what I've seen, you know, man, he's got some skill, but he hasn't really delivered. You know, the fight nights that he's been on my fight nights, he's fought a few times on my fight nights and just hasn't quite delivered. So Joseph, you know, the man over there, he has everything to lose in this fight. He has everything to lose, and Junior Far has everything to gain. So there's more pressure on Joseph Parker to win this fight, you know, and then Junior, he could pull everything out of the hat, man. He can pull all what he hasn't delivered in a long time. And upset the trump card, but that's yeah, that'll be a hard thing to say.
We said, would it be fair to say, you know, Joe Parker, he's been in there with Dillian White, he's been in there with AJ, he's gone 12 rounds, and Far probably hasn't gone to the same level. So, like you just said, is it fair to say that they may be going there with different levels of experience?
Yeah. But all that sort of doesn't really mean nothing on the night. You know, it doesn't mean nothing on the night. It comes down to who can deal with the pressure better than the others, you know, because this is a big fight for Parker, being on home soil, fighting a home boy. It's probably a bit like when I fought Tua, you know, and I've spoken to Tua since that fight, and he said, man, this was the most nervous I've ever been out of all my fights when he fought me, because he goes, I don't want to lose to you, man. He's like, I couldn't lose to you in New Zealand soil, you know. It's the same thing with Joseph. He'll be feeling the same pressure. He doesn't want to lose to Junior Far on his home soil, because he's built up such a great credibility of the guys that he's fought, and it can be lost.
And going back to that, I mean, that was a remarkable fight. You guys made history, and we've seen you guys talking since then. But, you know, we only said on social media, what is your relationship like with David Tua now? Is it matey? Do you guys message? How is it?
Yeah, it's good. It's good. No, we message each other. Not too often, but we message each other around when I got a fight night on or something like that. He comes along, or I went out to his gym when he got his Samoan, which was very privileged. I got to understood how special it was that he invited me along there. So no, he's a legend. You know, he's still bloody man. I still look up to the fella, even though I battled him and we talked a lot of shit. You know, but man, he's still a bloody legend.
I just want to reflect one last question on you, mate, because, you know, you talk about Far Parker, and Far he's up against it with Joe. But was there ever a fight for you where you were up against someone that, on paper, you thought, probably not going to win, but fuck it, I'm going to go against this guy, I'm going to give him hell, and you did win? And what was one of those fights?
Nah, never. I've never gone into the ring thinking I was going to lose a fight. You know, so even against David Tua, like, I actually bet money on that fight. you know, a lot of money on that fight that I was going to win that fight, and clearly I didn't. It's just in the heavyweight division, man, it's just like if you're against a puncher like I was against Dave, and he just caught me with a shot that bloody I didn't see, obviously, and yeah, and when I look at the video, it took me about a year and a half to look at the video, and I was going, fuck, it didn't even look like a hard shot, but he just must have just caught me in the right spot, because I've been hit hard with some big heavyweights, but like, yeah, but hey, it is what it is, man, and that's what it is.
But what you just said is so inspirational, motivational to anyone fighting, because Far will be going with the same attitude. He's not going in there to lose. You never went in there to lose against Tua, so that's exactly what we could predict for the Far Parker fight.
Yep, and that's what makes a fight. That's what makes a fight.
Well, great to see you here tonight. We're looking forward to your fight next week, and take care.
Thank you.